I need to share with you a concept that I was talking about today with some of my private business coaching clients. And this is a concept that I've started calling legacy bombs. And I love this concept so much. I want you to think about, what does legacy mean? Let's start there. What does legacy mean? So your legacy is the thing that you are known for after you've gone, long departed this mortal coil. Your legacy is what's left behind. It might be that you've built a business that people remember fondly. It might be that you are known for your charitable works, any number of things, right? That's your legacy. Your children and the values that they espouse, that's part of your legacy too. In business, we have a living legacy. Now, it's kind of related to reputation, but it's a bit more than that. It's how you leave behind little breadcrumbs, little droplets of your legacy for people to mull over. And they might not even be conscious of it at the time, because they might not be aware that your service or your business or whatever it is you're offering is something they need until later. So I want you to think about this. In your interactions with other businesses, in your interactions with your customers and clients, in your interactions with the people who send business your way, what are you leaving behind? What legacy droplets or legacy bombs are you leaving behind in your wake? You've moved on to the next client or the next business idea or the next job even, and forgotten all about the fact that you had this interaction and left behind some kind of legacy bomb. Because legacy bombs aren't something you do deliberately, because you're not aware at the time that you've planted a seed in somebody's mind, or you've planted a seed in somebody's memory. So what's an example of a legacy bomb? An example might be you've been to the doctor to see about your infected toe, and you're a hairdresser or a psychologist or a business coach, and you've just been chatting with the doctor while they're fixing your toe about what you do, about how much you love it, how passionate you are, just having a casual chat. To you, it's just a conversation. The next day, the next week, the next year, that GP has sent somebody your way because they remembered the conversation. They were impressed by how passionate you were about your work. They were impressed by how much integrity you displayed when you talked about your staff or when you talked about your clients. So your legacy isn't just, it's not marketing. It's not marketing. It's the essence of your authenticity in what you believe about what you do, how you embody what you do, and what that leaves behind you in your wake. So legacy bombs are awesome because they mean that sometimes you can get really, really lovely surprises. Somebody sends some business your way. Somebody calls you and asks you to be the photographer for their wedding. Somebody sends a request to you to design the baptismal gown for their baby. Whatever your business is, these little legacy bombs can go off at any time and surprise you. What I want you to do is notice when that happens and wonder to yourself, what was it about that particular interaction that might have resonated with that person? Was that a moment of sheer authenticity? Was that a moment of vulnerability? Was that a moment of me being really relaxed and comfortable talking about what I do? Do I need to do more of that? So then when it does come to your marketing of your business, of course you can weave some of that into what you do, but you need to remain authentic. There's no point turning authenticity into a cynical marketing ploy, because that won't wash with anybody. Word of warning, legacy bombs work both ways. So if you're inauthentic, if you're ungenerous, if your treatment of people is unprofessional or unkind, they're legacy bombs you're going to leave behind you as well. So I can think of examples where I have not been able to recommend somebody who would be an automatic choice for a particular thing because of the way I'd seen them treat other people. I've not been able to send clients to certain people who I know perhaps don't necessarily come from an authentic place, whether that's coaching clients or whatever it might be. I think it's really important to remember that those little legacy bombs that you leave behind you speak about the real you. And so if the real you is unprofessional, if the real you is inauthentic, if the real you is unkind, then yeah, you're going to have to expect that sometimes those little legacy bombs are going to go off too. You might not see them though, and that's the scary part. So, people who treat my staff poorly, that information gets tucked away behind an ear. People who are rude to somebody seemingly inconsequential in a shop, that information gets tucked away behind my ear. I won't use that service. So I think it's really important to remember it's also about generosity of spirit, compassion, and I think just being a decent human being. As somebody recently said, just don't be a dick. So it's a little bit of a life lesson, this whole idea of legacy bombs. It's a little bit of a life lesson. It's a little bit about sitting back and having a think about how you do you, how you interact with other people, which areas of yourself you may actually need to do some work on, but also which areas of yourself really deserve to be celebrated and strengthened. So if you're finding that people are coming your way that you didn't even realize knew you existed, see if you can get some feedback about what it was that drew them to you. Or see if you can remember some other interaction you've had with them that might give you a clue about the legacy bomb you left behind. It's almost like a little secret squirrel mission to figure out what goes on in your unconscious behavior. Because this is you just being you without any design or any plan. This is just you being yourself, your real, authentic self, leaving behind little snippets of things that worm their way into people's memories, people's esteem of you, people's judgment of you. So it's kind of like reputation. But reputation can be a little one-sided or a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit narrow. So your reputation as a hairdresser might be outstanding. Your reputation as a human being might be something else. Your reputation as a therapist might not be brilliant, but people love you because you're just so lovely. What does that say? You know, there's so many ways that we can talk about reputation. Here, with this concept of legacy bombs, this is about the secret stuff that gets left behind. So think about this for today. Think about what can I journal on, what can I write, what can I scribble down that are ideas around some of these interactions that I've had with people that have come to my business through an interesting door, not through the normal door. So it might be somebody who's referred to you in the past and they've sent their child to you. Or it might be somebody who you met at a party and they've sent their husband to come and see you. What is it about the interaction with that person that led to that level of trust that they've chosen you? See if you can uncover some other legacy bombs that you might have inadvertently left behind and celebrate those things about yourself, because it's pretty awesome. It's pretty exciting. And if you catch yourself leaving negative legacy bombs, just notice it. Don't judge. Thank yourself for discovering those and work on changing that and move forward. Have a great night. See you.